morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm your Secretary of State, Nellie Gorbea, and before we get into today's announcements, I'd like us to all hold a moment of silence to remember the victims of September 11th, those who lost family and friends, and those who are still living with the impact of this really tragic moment in our history. Thank you. So we had hoped to be joined today by the Board of Elections Chairwoman, Dan Medeiros, and Creston Registrar Nick Lima. However, you may have heard we're in the middle of an election cycle, and so there's a lot going on. However, we're very fortunate to have Board of Elections Commissioner Jenny Johnson, who will be speaking a little bit later this morning. Speaking of which, I really want to recognize the hard work and commitment of all of the state's election officials in delivering a safe, secure, and smooth statewide primary this past Tuesday. Because of their efforts, through long days and nights, weekends, we saw thousands of Rhode Islanders take advantage of their voting options, despite a pandemic. They voted from home with a mail ballot. They voted early in person at a city or town hall. Or they voted at a polling location on primary day. And so thank you to my staff at the Department of State, as well as to the Board of Elections. Thank you to the local boards of canvassers, everybody who's an election official, the poll workers. It was a really amazing effort during very trying and constantly changing circumstances. We're here today now to make several announcements for the November 3rd general election, which will be the last one this year. And we're making this announcement because we want to make sure voters know what to expect. So, in order to continue to provide a safe and secure election, we're excited to announce that my office will be sending all active registered voters a mail ballot application. An application for a mail ballot will be sent to every active registered voter for the November 3rd general election. These applications are going to be starting arriving as soon as tomorrow, all the way through next week. And they're going to provide Rhode Islanders to choose to vote from home plenty of time to fill out their application, receive the ballot, and then return the ballot in time. We're going to be doing it the same way that we did it for the June 2nd presidential preference primary, meaning there will be, with the mail ballot application, will be a pre-stamped envelope so that people don't even have to worry about that. And then the ballots, of course, will also include, when voters get them, a pre-stamped envelope. This is going to make it easy for people to vote from home this November. And it's going to ensure that voters don't have to choose between their health and their constitutional right to vote. We do expect record turnout this year, and a viable vote-by-mail system is going to enable us to avoid packing, polling locations, and basically create an environment where COVID-19 can spread rapidly. Now, along with this announcement, we have been able to make the decision to, along with this announcement, I want to also note that we're able to send out mail ballot applications to all active registered voters thanks to Governor Raymond, who has authorized the Rhode Island National Guard to assist in processing the record number of mail ballot applications that we are expecting. One of the biggest lessons we learned from elections during the COVID-19 pandemic is that voting safely from home is very popular with Rhode Islanders. The increased use of mail ballots helped us flatten the curve at polling places, and less crowding made it easier for cities and towns to handle election day operations so that they needed fewer polling locations and fewer poll workers. However, the surge of applications for mail ballots really was coming close to overwhelming our local boards of canvassers who normally process those applications. So when we convened the the task force after the June 2nd presidential preference primary, one of the biggest recommendations that that task force made was to centralize the processing of applications for mail ballots and to take some of that burden off of local cities and towns. So after much discussion about how to do this, we proposed utilizing the Rhode Island National Guard so that they can provide administrative support in processing the applications. Now, I want to be very, very clear. Administrative support means that they'll open and sort mail ballot applications and prepare them to be processed by my staff. The National Guard will not actually handle any mail ballots. They will also not make any decisions on whether or not a voter receives a mail ballot. Now, you might ask, why then have the National Guard there? Well, the answer is really very simple. It's security and trust, and the ability to rapidly scale up. The National Guard has a unique skill set that can help us safeguard the security of our election system and ensure that all voters who choose to cast a ballot from the safety of their home can do so in an efficient way. The Rhode Island National Guard provides an inherent level of security with its personnel and training. And we've already actually had a run through and tested this out. It's actually worked out very, very smoothly. And so I want to thank Major General Chris Callahan and all of our guardsmen and women for their continued service and commitment to our state. They have provided an incredibly invaluable support to a variety of activities that go beyond the normal Guard's responsibilities during this public health crisis. And all of it has been around protecting the public health of Rhode Islanders. So this is yet another example of how they're helping us flatten the curve. I want to clarify about how November's mailing will differ from June. This mailing will only go to active registered voters. The one in June went to all voters. Now, having said that, we've also redesigned the envelopes on the off chance that somebody might receive a mail ballot application for someone who no longer lives there. The envelope clearly states that they should actually return that to us. Returning that mail is the one way we have to start the process for maintaining an accurate voter list. Envelopes will have those clear instructions, and we urge Rhode Islanders to do what they can to help us keep our voter rolls accurate. Now, I want to also remind everyone that voters can easily track their mail ballot applications and their actual mail ballots at vote.ri.gov, so that you can actually see when your mail ballot application has been accepted, when it has been, and when the mail ballot has been sent to you. Then when the ballot has been accepted at the Board of Elections as well. So, and for those of you who are a little bit skittish about the Postal Service, there are secure drop boxes that I would encourage, if you end up having a mail ballot in your hands the day before, or even 5 days before an election, put it into one of the secure drop boxes that are being placed all over the state thanks to the hard work of the Board of Elections. Or a ballot box that's available at one of the polling locations. It's important to note that voting safely from home is just one option that you have. You have 3 options to vote this November 3rd. In fact, we're saying vote by November 3rd.